Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of the Suited Shootist. And this week I was actually going to kind of do a two-part series. I've put out some posts on various social media asking for some questions, and so I wanted to actually take some time and answer some of those. So before I jump into that, again, wanted to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. I'm thrilled to have you guys. Thank you so much for the support. If you're getting a lot out of the channel, then the Bespoke Solutions Facebook page is something that you're definitely going to want to check into, because we have a lot of conversations in there about a lot of great topics, and folks are getting a ton of mileage out of that group, especially when it comes to wardrobe development and stuff like that. Additionally, if you have found the channel useful and you want to support it directly, the link to my Patreon is down below as well. I really do appreciate all the patrons that have signed up so far. We just did a giveaway, so somebody won a Trunk Monkey sling, and some of the conversation that happens in there is a little bit more nuanced, detailed, and if you're really having trouble, you can even get some direct consultation from me as well to kind of help develop your style and your wardrobe. So without any further ado, let's jump into kind of the first of these questions answered. And the first question that I got was, what do I think about concealment-specific alterations to clothing? My personal attitude towards it is I try and avoid them whenever possible, because number one, because I carry appendix, I don't have to reinforce the lining of jackets and sew vents shut and stuff like that, as some people may need to do if they're carrying, on the hip, outside the waistband, and kind of more what you typically see in law enforcement. But the other thing that I don't like about it, if I can avoid it, is that it's niche-specific alterations that may or may not work whenever I'm not carrying the firearm, and I'd rather not have a gun-carrying wardrobe and a non-gun carrying wardrobe. I want to keep everything as interchangeable as I possibly can. So there are certain alterations or adjustments that you can do. For example, if you are wearing jackets, there's kind of an old bodyguard trick where they'll sew a weight or something into the front corner in the lining, so when you go to sweep the jacket, it moves out of the way a little bit more easily. The practice that I've just done with my jackets has not proven that that is an essential modification, but if you've got the money and you feel like it makes your life easier, go for it. I don't think that it is necessary, but that's kind of my take. Another question that I got was in regards to belts, because if you've followed the channel for any period of time, you'll know that, well, if you watch the most recent Wednesday wardrobe hack, I am definitely trying to get people to stop wearing their nylon range belts in their street clothes, just because it's not necessary. When it comes to actual daily belts, I did a video I'll post a card to. I've been having great luck with slide belts so far. The leather is of a decent quality. They hold up fairly well. I like the fact that the buckles are interchangeable, so you can kind of mix and match to get it a little bit more casual, a little bit more formal, depending on what you need. And, overall, I think for the money, they're not a bad option. If you want to spend a few bucks more, I've got several friends that speak very highly of Mean Gene leather. I have not had a chance to put my hands on those belts myself. However, on the website, they advertise those, not even their gun belts, but just their normal belt, is almost a 1/4 inch thick. My concern is that's going to be a little bit more substantial. And if I try to wear something like that in an outfit like this, gray slacks and a button down, it might look a little out of place. Mike Green has an anecdote that he tells in his covert carry class about a woman that walked up to him and a buddy and just insisted that they were police simply because they were wearing heavy-duty leather gun belts. So, that's kind of where I'm at this point. I probably should do a little bit more exploration on that as well. But so far, slide belt really has been my preferred go-to. One question that I do get a lot is, where do I start? Because if you are following this channel, ostensibly you have some interest in your personal style and dressing better. And there's a ton of information out there, but just like in the gun space, anybody with an internet connection is allowed to have an opinion, and they're not all equally valuable. So the two biggest resources that I found are, well, three. Number one, if you're following me, you almost invariably are already following Craig Douglas, Southnark. But if you're not, go follow him on Instagram. He has some sartorial posts. Sometimes he goes into detail, sometimes he doesn't, but it's definitely, he puts out some good content there. When it comes to actual educational resources, the two that I've gotten the most mileage out of are the book Dressing the Man by Alan Flusser. And I picked up a copy of that on Craig's recommendation. And it is great, definitely a good primer. It's a little bit on the formal side, so it tends to talk very much in depth about dress clothes. But that's also where a lot of folks seem to be the weakest, so it is a great resource. And the nice thing is that it goes in depth about colors, patterns, working with stuff that matches your coloration and complexion, things like that. So if you take the principles, you can apply them outside of the suit and tie arena. The other one that I've gotten a ton of mileage out of is going to be Tanner Guzzi. He ran a YouTube channel called Masculine Style for a while. He seems to kind of have fallen off that content creation. You can also find a couple of podcasts that he's appeared on. But what I found that he did that was the most useful for me was his style archetype quiz. And he breaks it down, and I'm not going to go into too much depth on it, but essentially the way he quantifies the information explained to me why there was certain things that I would try, recommended by other style influencers, that felt like a costume. So I'll include a link to that as well so you can check it out. It really is invaluable. Another question that I got, especially after I put out the video about what happened when I was discovered to be armed at a previous job, is do I carry at work now? And the answer is kind of, but not in the way that you think. My 9-to-5 job takes me regularly into denied areas, as Claude Warner would refer to them, places where there are policies that ban carrying firearms. Some of them also, there are laws banning the carriage of firearms. So my daily carry is a can of Palm OC and a SAP from Boston Leather, because they are legal to carry here in Texas, and those two components really are going to allow me to address the majority of kind of interpersonal violence that I'm likely to encounter. Now, if I'm out and about on the weekends or if I'm traveling, things change a little bit, but my true EDC at this point is pepper spray and a SAT. And it also brings to the question of, how do I carry medical? Because especially dressed like this, there's not a ton of pocket space, and there are some inside the waistband options and stuff like that that I haven't really played with too much, because I've got enough inside the waistband already that I really don't want to try and stuff any more in there aside from the pistol if I can avoid it. So what I found that works so far is a low profile ankle medical kit. And I try and keep it as slimlined as possible. I've got a tourniquet, I've got some hemostatic gauze, I've got a chest seal, and a mini compression bandage in there. And I've been able to make that work even in slim fit jeans and slim fit trousers. So for the most part, that is how I carry medical on my person at this point. Sometimes if I'm carrying a bag of any sort, I will have a secondary or supplemental kit that I'll throw in there. But that's the best that I've found so far to carry medical as consistently as possible, because I really don't wear shorts. So that's kind of where we're at with this. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer, please, by all means, put them in the comments below. I'm going to be doing a few more of these. And aside from that, I hope everybody has a great week. Stay dangerous and stay sharp.